My name is Charlie, and I've spent over $1 billion on ads across my brands, clients, and agencies, and on behalf of some of the biggest companies in the world. In this video, partnering with Foreplay, I reveal what most marketers never get to see. I'm going to show you a recorded Zoom call auditing a complete stranger's Meta ad account to show them the settings and strategy that they can use immediately to boost their returns so you can repeat the success for yourself. There's no staging, just real process, real stakes. Let's get to it.
My situation's kind of different because I'm driving traffic to a hemp website.
Sure.
And Meta isn't particularly fond of that, it seems. So, like if I put a pixel on my website, it kind of just bans the whole campaign from the get-go.
Sure.
I'm kind of on like my third account now that because it keeps getting disabled. So I'm not sure how much or if you can even help me, but just wanted to throw that
Yeah.
out there.
So
Uh,
first thing, like I did my first exit in the CBD space in 2019 with a brand called Fab CBD, and we
let's
did
go.
20 something from High Tide back when High Tide was buying up everybody. We were part of that initial High Tide acquisition, so not no stranger to the game. Fun fact, we used an agency run by a guy named Aaron, who now has a brand called Brez, and everybody loves
Oh
everything that
yeah,
they're
I
doing.
follow him. He's got some
Yeah,
crazy hits, man.
he was the guy that ran our managed account 6 years ago. So we go. It's a very small world at the top. All that to be said, one of the biggest things I'd recommend in this kind of space, just to get into it, is if you are struggling with getting your ad accounts in this situation, a managed account can always be a really great thing. There are a lot of resources for that. My number one recommendation on a resource for that, because Jack has told me to name names, so I will, is a company called Orange Trail. Again, disruptorschool.com/orange trail. Every SaaS company I promote has a subdomain on my website because I just want to make it really easy to drive traffic to them. Plus, get a little something for doing it.
So
But
you're saying that's like what they're calling like a Facebook ad agency, I guess. Uh,
essentially, what they are going to do is they will have, there are internal teams at every paid media platform to help folks to play in the gray area spend more money. You're getting flagged by AI, and unless you have an internal relationship, you're never going to be able to raise it and be like, I'm actually legit. These
right.
agencies have relationships with people who work in a department exclusively to let brands like yours scale. I had the same issue with Under Outfit, with my women's shapewear business. And when we went from 50K a month to a million a week, like, cause he was an MBA student, and then we partnered together on my Meta MBA program. One of the big things that we did in that space was we got a managed account because
Okay.
the nature of showing shapewear is it's a lot of skin. So we saw record high CPMs and couldn't move the business forward. I did again, same thing with Fab CBD. Aaron was the guy that ran the agency there that we used. Orange Trail is a great way for you to have an internal relationship so your CPMs don't spike. You can run conversion campaigns. You don't need to do the old like walled garden approach that was building out in like 2017 of a legit website selling nothing, where the purchase event triggers an event on another Shopify that actually sells the individual product or the WordPress. That whole nonsense of it all. You don't need to do all of that. I like them because
Right.
they have good relationships. They're good dudes. I've met them in person. We've been talking for years. And I think also their rates are reasonable and that they're very low price and they just tack on a percentage of ad spend that is very affordable if it can help you scale your business.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot because I've been following a lot of your content recently and just some of the stuff you say about agencies like kind of like contradicts what you're saying about using an agency, but I'm also in this like tight spot
Hey,
of
look,
like,
if you can't avoid them, go with the ones
yeah,
that I don't think all agencies are bad. I run an agency. I think there
right.
are a lot of folks that are very good at sales that got a lot of clients and stopped doing the work themselves years ago. I think those people generally are so far removed that the teams they build don't do good work. I also think there are operators with small teams that are really motivated that do phenomenal work. And so as much shit as talk on agencies, there are some that are terrible and there are some that are just good folks trying to solve problems at scale that are in the weeds themselves. And Orange Trail is in the weeds. They are doing the work.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that'll probably help me a lot. Just from
Yeah.
out of
So
everything.
yeah, in these spots, I get that you can't really run the conversion events.
Yeah.
and you've been seeing some trouble with pixels in any of these gray area stuff, and it's not just CBD. I've done it with like gun chests and like the thing, the mantle above the fireplace that pops open with the Bluetooth that has like the AK-47 in it, like crazy
Yep.
stuff. 100%, that's a real business, I promise. They even had like a mirror that sunk into the wall that you popped open and it had like two guns and a rifle in it. Hey, look, people want some. D2C's there to solve the problem. That's why D2C exists, is because the product you want isn't at the store. You want somebody that cares about you. That's your unfair advantage. So, with all that being said, in those gray areas of businesses like this, it is, if you are able to understand inflection points of the sale. So, for instance, in that business, we understood that the guy ran a newsletter, and that newsletter was great at getting community and making sales. Fun
Yeah.
fact with the CBD business, we did not so much a newsletter, but we had an educational blog site that we ran.
Yeah.
You can get inflection points on those other spots. It's essentially the same thing as like any info, any coach or consultant running like a VSL page. So we
Yeah.
did, I think it was learn.fab.com was the Fab CBD Facebook ad account website. And what we did is we could have it there. We knew when people signed up for the email or showed up for anything else, they were click out to other things that were completely like violating terms and services, but it wasn't on the same domain. Facebook is checking 3 clicks within your domain of any link that is on your site. But if you place ads on your own site by essentially embedding links to your .com that is selling the thing you can't sell, you can essentially say, oh, my site is legit. There's a click out to something else. The name of the product is totally fine. Whether it's like Mountain Breeze or, Green Dragon, but it's not CBD 50 milligram. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so in that way, you can see what most effectively gets those upper funnel triggers to happen. And then what we do is we would have that go to like a landing page routing software like an IntelliGems or Shoplift or anybody else that has any of these things. VWO if you just got money. Look, if you want to take your Lamborghini to go grocery shopping, VWO is a great solution. Love those guys, but again, you don't need a Lamborghini to go grocery shopping. The point of it is, if you can understand the revenue per session of everybody that comes from that link click, and then see how much does it cost to acquire, then you can start chasing all of this as essentially funnel filling at scale.
Gotcha. I've been kind of using the link clicks to mostly just try and get emails and then using like the email list to convert to
Love
see
that.
how many people are spending money actually. And it works and it shows me I'm making money, but it's just a little difficult sometimes.
Yeah, it's a little difficult and it's hard to track. Something that if your email capture experience existed on a compliant website with no issue, a blog site, for instance, it just has a lead capture form. You could have that every time you get a new email address into your ecosystem, your Klaviyo or whatever, that can fire a lead event. And then I did this with a guy with a fly fishing rod business. His fly fishing rod started at like $700 and went up to like 4 or 5 grand. He's like, I sell Les Paul guitars for fly fishermen. Nobody ever buys more than 2. They usually 10 years in between purchasing, but he had a $7 million business. He joined the Meta MBA program a few years ago. What we got from him to get from 7 to 13 in a space of about 9 months was we figured out the best way of getting people to join his newsletter, because his newsletter has
Yeah.
essentially had an email revenue value of his emails were worth $40 a pop. We
Nice.
could get an email address for $13.
Nice. I love the way you're looking at that.
That made it insanely easy to purchase. Now, what we did is some landing pages are better than others. Fun fact, the #1 landing page for his email value was his homepage. Had an email at the bottom of the page. If somebody signed up on that thing, they were actually worth over 60. Now it cost us like $30 to get that person. But that was like just throw fucking nuclear power, like throw just a bunch of fuel on this thing because it's 2x and it scaled. The more we spent on it, the better it got. because now more and more people joined his newsletter because of that button. So they all bought through the same experience because of the same ads. So the conversion rate on that newsletter went up. By the time we were done, it was worth over 100. And like I said, they went from 7 million. It took them 3 years to go from 5 to 7. It took them 9 months to get from 7 to 13.
Jeez.
Um, not all results typical. I also mentioned, in the MBA program, we had under outfit that went from 50K a month to 1 million a week. It's like, like weight loss, not all results are typical. But, not everybody's Jared from Subway. Well, I guess that's a bad example because he's a horrible person. But you know what I'm saying. So with all that being said, the other inflection point here that I'd be looking if I'm trying to map this out, the other inflection point that's really important to me is I'm just gonna go to this other camera because this other one's flipping me out. So this is my Amazon $30 like ring light cam. Which, hey, look, built up a business on it. Just keep this thing for old time's sake. What I'd be doing is each one of these when they come in, you could either track by UTMs or my favorite is individualized subdomains by lead source. So if each one of your ad concepts drove to a landing page where that this is hero landing page is hero dot whatever, right? Hero dot smoky, okay? And then you have other concepts. What you're going to do is say every ad of this concept has an email revenue projected value of X. Then you map the timeline from you get an email to the person converts. Now you have a cash flow cycle timeline analysis device plus a cost of acquisition and a value. You then just understand what can I do well. Now you're all you're really doing is running Facebook ads like it's television. And to be fair, one of the best bosses I ever had was this woman. Her name is Marina Randolph. She's a fucking gangster. She ran Ginsu Knives and Proactive Skincare Solution for Guthrie Ranker. $100 million a year on television. Her attribution model was 5 minutes after the infomercial aired. The call center, after 5 minutes, 0 attribution. She could manage $100 million a year with a stopwatch because she understood each ad went live in each market, and there was 20 different cuts of the infomercial, and so the market tested the cuts, in this case the ad, through a different to a different phone number, so you can understand this ad brought somebody into the building through this door. What was that phone call worth? Anywhere that phone call was worth 5 times more than it cost, she would double down. Anywhere where it was worth less than that, she cut. And again, $100 million a year with a fucking stopwatch. It took me 6 months to get into her office because I kept showing reports on ROAS, and she was like, until you give me anything that's useful, you don't get my time. And we were taking 310 Nutrition. It took us 20 months to go from 15 mil a year to 100.
Jesus.
But yeah, she didn't want me wasting her fucking time. I was her first hire, and she would not meet with me for 6 months. That's, like I said, gangster. But like didn't want me to fuck around at all. And it was a great experience. I learned a lot. That was 2017 was tough. But I think I got 10x better under that environment. So anyway, to kind of bring it to full circle, if each one of your ad concepts drives to a unique landing page, and it might be the same exact fucking landing page, just with a different subdomain or however you want to do it.
It's pretty much an age gate that just says, "Are you 21 plus?" They hit yes, and it shoves them where I want them.
Yeah. So my point is, identical copies, but each one has a different URL based on the ad name. Now you can do this with UTMs, but UTMs sometimes break. They're not 100%. If you don't need to worry about UTMs because you can't click on the hero ad and go to the features and benefits landing page because this hero ad brings you to the features, and if the concept is a one-to-one relationship, then there's no need for third-party analysis. It's just how much does a hero ad, how much does it cost to get a click from a hero ad? 15 cents. Awesome. What is it worth? 25. Great. Spend more.
Awesome. I love that.
Does that make sense?
Probably figure that out, honestly. If I can keep an account live, did you say Orange Trail?
Orange Trail, yeah. Disruptorschool.com/Orange Trail.
Also,
by the way, /foreplay on there too. My Martech stack is all just backslashes on disruptorschool.com. And if you're in the academy or the MBA program, I have a full list of all the Martech stack that I use, from Amers to Foreplay. orange trail, heat
So I
map.
can just look at your sitemap and steal your whole tech stack.
100%, please do.
Nice.
For
I
the
love
guys that are still here, and Ryan, this might not actually apply to you, but I'd love to get your opinion on this, Charlie. I saw an absolute collapse in an ad account. I saw frequencies go up. They're spending the same amount, right? But performance just absolutely dropped out. And one thing was very obvious in the ad account as soon as we clicked around and found it. Can you click breakdown? And here in your account, Ryan, it might not apply for you because of your constraints. And then go down to demographics. Let's see, I think there's audience segment underneath here.
There you go.
And then if you
Now,
click,
he doesn't have any spend, but yeah, this would show
Well,
new versus engaged users and all of that
let me
stuff.
go. So this is the account. I just got this thing banned like last week, and I was doing really well on it. But
Job well done.
I have this one that's active. It's just it's only been active for a couple days, so I
That's
don't know.
let's
cool.
do this one, and then let's maximize the time frame in the top right. So it's a time frame that
There you
Okay.
go. Yeah,
has
select that
data.
ad account, go to maximum, or for those of us that are, whatever,
Can you go to the campaign level?
lifetime.
What was that? Sorry.
Can
Campaign
you go to the
level,
campaign
Oh
level?
yeah.
and then
And then,
lifetime on the timeline, or
yeah,
maximum instead of last 30 days.
Okay. Where the hell's
that's just the top right.
there you go.
Awesome. Then in the bottom, if you've defined your audience segments, can you click that drop down? You haven't. But if you clicked that
Breakdown.
drop down in the where it says results from 12 campaigns, there's a little drop down right at the bottom of the screen. I'll draw on
Oh,
the screen to show you where it is
I
here.
apologize. Yeah, go
Right
ahead.
here.
There you go. Love it.
Can you see this here? So if you're defining your audience, you'll actually see how much you're spending on new customers, how much you're spending on existing customers, and those unknown cohorts. Everyone's
Huh.
an unknown cohort for you because you haven't defined your customer at the account level, your different profiles, right? But you could define different audience segments at your account level and then see the distribution of spend and purchases across those different segments. And for this one brand, they found that their ROAS was going up, right? But they were spending a larger percentage of their ad budget, and this was in the hundreds of thousands a month, right, on returning customers, right? And that's a
Yeah.
limited pool. That's a limited size audience. And then eventually it crept up. They went from 90% of spend on new customers to 50 spent on new customers and 50% spent on returning customers.
Hmm.
So imagine that 50% spend wasn't driving an incremental increase in return customer orders. It was just blasting half their ad budget, which is in the hundreds of thousands, into their returning customers. That might
Yeah.
not be your strategy to maximize return customer orders, but there's got to be a point where another dollar spent on that limited pool of existing customers doesn't drive another order, right?
And to operationalize this for you, Ryan, if you optimize your conversion event for lead, the same email address can't fire a lead event twice. So you're essentially optimizing for new customers only.
How do you do that?
That would be in a conversion campaign at the ad set level. The item that you're optimizing for, most by default go to conversions, go to purchase. By the way, you can run conversions to a lead event and just run your
Huh.
sales campaigns like they're leads. So go to the ad set level and then hit edit. Just select one of them. There you go. So for you here, scroll down a little bit. Your conversion location is maximize number of clicks. Got it. You have some value rules. Because this isn't a conversion objective, there's going to be no, and because you don't have some other stuff in place, you're not going to be able to choose these events, but it would be in this
Okay.
section. When you
Gotcha.
optimize for a purchase, you'd be able to optimize, when you optimize for a conversion, you'd be able to define what that conversion is. It's a purchase, it's a lead, it's a complete registration, it's an app download, or it's new customer, or EBITDA, or whatever it is. And that way you can really use the entire suite of conversion campaign tools, which are generally the most advanced in the platform, to whatever your business objectives are. For anybody doing lead generation, if you switch from the lead campaign to a conversion campaign, but your conversion event being a lead, you're going to be way more effective at trying to get leads of people who are likely to buy a product. So Ryan, I'm saying that because if I'm going to run a conversion campaign, if I'm going to run leads, I'm going to run a conversion campaign to a lead event as my conversion event. And because that lead event can't fire on the same person twice because they're already in my CRM, so that event won't happen, your distribution will be overwhelmingly to net new individuals.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, and like, so when I create a new campaign,
Yeah, let's just do it. Let's do one dummy campaign and then we'll get to Adams for the last like 10 minutes.
yep,
So let's do sales. Not leads,
yeah.
sales.
That
But
these other campaigns were traffic campaigns, by the way.
got it. Yeah, yeah. So just go ahead, hit OK. Cool. Now go to the ad set. All right. Now in this ad set, if you scroll down, you don't have a pixel, so you might not be able to actually do it here.
Right.
But this is where you'd be able to say, by default, this says purchase. But you could change that purchase to a lead event.
Gotcha.
And so if you do that, and I would do standard attribution. I got a video coming out on incremental attribution, which is a whole other thing. Nobody should worry about it. It sucks right now, but it's going to be a cheat code in February. We need Black Friday data for the machine. Don't even worry about it. But that's where I'd be focusing. I think if you can get a conversion campaign up, even if what you're doing is building a second version of the site that is completely clean, different domain, clean site, that is just an email capture. And then just saying, how cost effectively can I get these emails? What is an email worth? Each one of your ad concepts goes to an identical cousin, basically an identical but different version of that landing page. And then you can say each one of those landing pages has a lead form. Each one of those lead forms could be the exact same, but mapped differently. So you'll be able to see this is a lead from concept A. This is a lead from concept B. Which one is worth more money? Which one costs more money to get? And odds are some of them are going to be $1.50 and others will be 15 cents. But the 15 cent might only be worth 17. The $1.50 might be worth 5.
Right.
And then it's just, well, crank wherever the allowable cost is higher, because that's what's going to crank your ad spend as high as it can go, and you're generating volume of profit, not margin. Margins don't pay bills. You as a musician, I learned a long time ago, I can't pay my rent on exposure bucks. Like you need actual money.
Right.
So let's optimize for the most money, which is also another reason why ROAS is a shit metric, but neither here nor there today.
I was supposed to have a little meeting with Aria with the NBA team, but I rescheduled to watch this instead.
Okay, fair enough.
Would you guys be down to work with me before I redo that?
I mean, yeah, the short answer is yes. It's just a matter of whether or not the price point is okay. And if
Right.
you take that meeting and it's not, then the academy could be a good spot until you get there.
Got you. Great.
Yeah. But yeah,
Awesome.
go talk to Aria. He's a good dude. Fun fact, Jack. Aria is Chase from Pencil and Creative OS. It's Chase's cousin.
Ah, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice. Oh,
Fun
Blake.
fact. It's Blake's cousin. Blake and Chase are brothers. I've had multiple Mo Sainies on the team. Highly recommend you get yourself a Mo Saini.